Hi, good evening. Welcome to the John Gaunt podcast. Labour meltdown. Trump humiliated Starmer yesterday, and then surprise, surprise, today, Nigel Farage gets hit with a very, very sick smear suggesting that he supports paedophiles. I've never seen such a low blow in all of my political career, to be honest with you. I think it's an absolute disgrace. It's absolute bullshit, of course, but they're doing it because yesterday Trump all but said Farage is going to be the next prime minister. And clearly, this has gone down like a bucket of vomit. Keir Starmer is absolutely frit now. That's why you haven't heard from him today until tonight about Israel. We'll talk about that in a moment. Nigel Farage has got the upper hand. Donald Trump has clearly schooled Keir Starmer, and Labour are in meltdown. No videos this morning. Did you notice? No press releases this morning. They know that their man, Starmer, got absolutely hammered. UK politics is in a meltdown, and so they've resorted to a political smear by Peter Kyle. I'll come on to that in a moment. Meanwhile, the migrant crisis gets worse. The riots are getting worse. The Muslim grooming gangs is getting worse. Now we find out there's policemen in Yorkshire who were raping these young girls. And never mind, he's strutting on the stage. What's Starmer's comeback? He goes, "Oh, we'll have a cabinet meeting." What, today? Yes. What are you going to talk about? Will it be the migrant crisis? Will it be the Muslim gangs? Will it be the fact there's two-tier policing? Will it be the fact that coppers have been raping young white girls? No. I'll tell you what it'll be. We're going to talk about Gaza and the Palestine, and we're going to recognise Palestine. He has no idea, and even though he got schooled yesterday by the main man himself, he got absolutely slated by Trump and he looked pathetic. He was humiliated. Trump says, easy to get re-elected. Do the things that ordinary people want. Get us out of wars. So he's wrong on two of those, isn't he? Look after the domestic situation. Basically, control immigration was one of the big messages. Starmer hasn't done any of this. He sat there like a scolded schoolboy yesterday, but he hasn't learned his lesson. So Trump schooled Starmer. So Labour's reaction is to smear Farage. It's all about this bill, this act about protecting children online, which when I first heard about it, I thought that's quite a good idea. But it isn't, is it? Because kids can get those VPNs. They know exactly how to watch the filth if they want to watch it. You can't stop it in that way. But what they're using the online bill for is to clamp down on free speech. I'm no doubt I'll end up being prosecuted because of what I'm doing. They don't want anyone to criticise Keir Starmer's attitude or decisions. So we're already today, if you want to join in dangerous territory, because Starmer doesn't want us to criticise him. Starmer is our supreme leader. And so he's bringing in this new act, which he thinks he can stop free speech. And then he has the bloody cheek yesterday when Beverly Turner from GB News says to the president, "Oh, we think free speech is under attack." He lied. He barefaced lied to the president, the leader of the free world. He knows he's putting this act through, and Farage is against it. So Keir Starmer, he drops the political bombshell this morning. He doesn't apologise for coming over like a complete and utter jerk yesterday. He now says they're going to recognise a Palestinian state in September. Oh, yes. Keir Starmer today, instead of addressing the domestic problems that are there at the moment, he then goes on to say to Israel, because that's who he's talking to bully Israel to say, you better get round the table, because if you don't, come September at the UN, which, as we all know, is about as much use as a chocolate fireguard, we're going to gang up against you. Him and his mates in France. Oh, that'll be the same mates who haven't helped us with the migrants, the illegals getting into the country. Is that who you're relying on? It's again this idea of the coalition of the flipping useless. Welcome to the John Gaunt Show, by the way. As you can see, I've been thinking long and hard about this today. As Trump flew away after playing golf on his new course today, this is when Starmer announced there was going to be a cabinet meeting. This is when he announced, and the big bombshell, that they were going to recognize the Palestinian state. It won't come to it because it's just like Ukraine and Russia. Without Trump saying, I'll do it as well, they've got no firepower. They can't do anything. That's why he was halfway up Trump's backside yesterday. So far up Trump, he could clean Trump's teeth from the inside. So we've got political chaos on a scale that we've not seen in ages. As I say, yesterday, Donald Trump humiliated the Labour leader. He made him the laughing stock of the United Kingdom and Britain and beyond. There wasn't one good news story. Every single front page, if you still read the newspapers, was slagging him off. Even the BBC was slagging him off. He was useless. He just can't stand it. Even physically, when you look at them, Trump looks about 15 times bigger than Starmer. Am I right? Am I wrong? So, but instead of fixing the damage from yesterday, what do Labour do? They launch a vile smear campaign. For ages, they've used the you're the waifith on Farage without any real evidence of it. Now they link him to Jimmy Savile. They say basically if this online act was being discussed when Savile was around, he would be supporting Savile. It's foul. It's absolutely foul because the implication is that Nigel Farage supports pedos and nonces, when actually the overwhelming evidence, can I just point you to most of the councils who are involved in this Muslim Pakistani grooming gang scandal? They were Labour run. Labour councillors, whatever colour they were, turned a blind eye to it. We've got the Nick, well, we can't really say too much about this, but the Nick Brown scenario. I'm not saying there aren't paedophile sympathisers in other parties. Of course there are. Of course there'll be. And it disgusts me. You know what I would do? I'd string a lot of them up. But to imply that Farage supports paedophilia is just disgraceful. And to use the most famous paedophile, in a sense, in our country, Jimmy Savile, and link the two names together, I just think that's disgusting. And even if I didn't support Nigel Farage, I would say that is totally and utterly wrong. Now, interestingly, no one in the cabinet has backed him up, although Peter Kyle, the guy who said this today, he was sent out to do this. He was sent out on a suicide mission. You go out there, say this, it will distract people away from just how useless Keir Starmer was yesterday. They're trying to grab the news agenda. They obviously had lined up that later in the day they would also mention Palestine. You're being conned. I'm being conned. Ever got the feeling you've been cheated? Again, they're treating us as if we're morons. They're treating us in a disgusting manner. Would I go so far as to say they're abusing us? I think I probably would. I think it's totally and utterly outrageous. Smearing Farage on no evidence whatsoever, and then ignoring the grooming gangs, the migrant crisis, and of course the migrant crisis, I'm not saying all of them, but there are some people within those migrant hotels who have also been involved in abuse, not just child abuse, but rapes and sexual assault of our women. And then, of course, there's the riots. But what does he do? He distracts us, or tries to. But you see, the problem with Starmer is is in this death spiral. So no matter what he does, no matter how hard he pulls back on the joystick, he can't get the plane to rise again. He's heading to the ground. He is finished. But today is just the lowest of the low. We'll go through it with your views as well. But what do you think? Is it a Labour smear against Farage? Is it a desperate distraction after Starmer's humiliation by Donald Trump? Or is it just politics as usual? Oh, and John, the Tories would do the same. Nigel would do the same. No, well, I don't think they would, actually. Put your thoughts in the comments. I'll read out the best ones during the show. I just think today we have got to another low. Each day, I think it can't get any lower. Each day it does. Are you going to comment tonight? We've only got 6 likes so far. Where are you all? Come on, let's get reacting. Let's get talking. Please give me your opinions. Let's go to Jackie Ward. She can be the first one today. She says it's a big diversionary tactics from Labour. They are very worried about Farage and Reform UK. Jackie, you are right. It's quite clear what happened. Because in that meeting yesterday, basically, Trump didn't talk about the Conservatives. He talked about, he actually named Nigel. I guess you and Nigel have got differences or something like that, he said. So it's quite clear that he is, in a sense, backing Nigel. He's got plans for Nigel. Who was that? XTC, wasn't it? So Labour have come back today and hit out with this smear. What do you make of it? And also, what do you think about him saying, we're going to back Palestine? We're going to create an independent Palestinian state and have the 2-state solution. It probably is the solution in the long term, but it can't happen without America. Can it? So he's just playing Billy Big Boots again, trying to be the big statesman. And I would have said today, he should be concentrating on domestic affairs. We do need an emergency, cabinet meeting. I'd go so far as to say we should be recalling Parliament, but not because of Gaza. And don't get me wrong, I think the suffering that's going on there, if it's true, and I think mostly it must be. I think Trump said you couldn't make all of that up. I think he's probably correct. But we've got to deal with our own domestic problems first. We are being invaded. We have got an enemy within. People who just want to take and not give anything back. I don't mean everyone, but we can't say who it is and who it isn't because we don't know who we've got in the country. Very slow on the comments. I don't know if it's a technical problem, but normally I've got more comments than this. So if you want to comment, now is the time to do it. What do you think? Is Labour's smear against Farage a desperate last-minute distraction after Starmer's humiliation by Donald Trump yesterday? Or is it just politics as usual? It isn't. I'm sure it's not. Let's have your thoughts. Or write down your comments. And can somebody just tell me on Facebook and on Twitter and indeed on YouTube? I mean, Jackie's on Facebook, whose comment I've read out, but I've not had any more comments. This is massively humiliating. I'm nearly as humiliated as Keir Starmer. Perhaps I should ring up Trump and ask him, why am I not getting a reaction tonight? Maybe the internet's gone down. I don't know. But if you can tell me you're there, that'll be great. Normally I've got loads of people saying, hi, Gaunty, I'm here. All right. So let's hear from you. Meanwhile, if you like the show, please press the like button. Press the like button. And indeed, there we are. Mark the Vicar says, sorry, I was busy listening. Thank you very much indeed, Mark the Vicar. That's YouTube, so we know that's working. And on Twitter, William the Whacker says, I don't know what we have inside number 10. I don't know what I do, part of... anyway, but thank you for your comments. All right. So, if you like the show, press the like button. You know the routine by now. If you want to donate, you know how to do that. You go to www.buymeacoffee.com. If you want If you want to donate in another way, you can just press the $sign underneath the YouTube video that you're watching at the moment and donate as much as you can. We're getting to the end of the week, so it's Tuesday. That's today. Is kind of reconciliation day. So if you can donate, or you're thinking of donate, could you do it today? That would really help me. Otherwise, I have to wait another 14 days for the cash. Yeah, all right, let's move on. Jackie Ward, she's back. She says, Facebook and YouTube are both fine. Thank you very much indeed. Inside number 10 says Exile. There's a terrible, awful smell, or bloody awful smell, he says. Correct. You are right. So, right, there we are then. That's what we're talking about tonight. I'd also like to talk about, did you see the celebration for the women for the football? I thought that was pretty good. Although it went on too long, didn't it? Nearly went on as long as their penalty taken, but good on them for winning. And they have brought back a bit of joy and a bit of an uplift in the country. And let's face it, that's what we need at the moment, because we are in a dire state. An absolutely dire state. Do you agree with me? It just seems like, everything he does turns not to gold, but the opposite. And I think that's rubbing off on all of us. Everybody is skint. So, as I say, just to sum up then, and then we'll get talking, Labour is in an absolute meltdown tonight. They're pretending they're not, but they are. They've played two of their trump cards. One of which, of course, is Israel. Israel are the enemy again. They're about as, excuse me, haven't Hamas still got some of the hostages? Oh, yes. Didn't Hamas come in and rape a load of young girls? Yes. Did they kill a load of people? Yes. Have they all been handed back? No. So they're now saying to Israel, if you don't book your ideas up, effectively, this is what they're saying, we're going to get tough with you and we will create a two-state. You won't, because you haven't got the power to do it, Starmer. And you obviously haven't convinced Trump, because Trump left before you said this. If you had convinced Trump, or if Trump thought he could convince the Israeli lobby back in Washington, D.C., he would have sat there with you and made the announcement. But he didn't. That's because you haven't agreed with him. It's absolute garbage. He came for 4 days. He dominated completely. And Starmer, you were more pathetic than usual. You were publicly humiliated. You've been left as the Labour leader, the laughing stock of the world. And now you have this desperate distraction. You've launched one of the dirtiest smear campaigns anyone's ever seen. Basically saying Nigel Farage is a paedophile sympathizer. Just think about that for a moment. You could not like Nigel for many, many reasons, but to suggest that he would be supporting Jimmy Savile is just beyond the pale. These are vile, baseless accusations. They tried the racist label, but it didn't work. So now it's an outrageous Jimmy Savile link. It won't work either, because I think most people think he's a bit of a rough diamond, Nigel, but he actually speaks our language and he'll get the country sorted out. And then Starmer again calls a cabinet meeting about Gaza. Now, don't get me wrong, we got to get Gaza sorted, but we can only get it sorted with Trump. So you don't make an announcement as he flies out of the country, do you? Unless you are a coward. And Starmer says the UK, that's us, will recognise a Palestinian state in September. This is political chaos. This is high stakes. This could be disaster. We had the other guy, John, whatever his name is, the ugly one who looks like Gollum out of Lord of the Rings, basically saying, oh, yeah, we might go to war with China to help out Taiwan because we need their chips, microchips he's talking about. We're also almost committed to war with Russia. These people want to kill your kids. And the ones that they don't kill, they're going to let them be abused by other people. That's one way of interpreting what's going on. Can anyone stop this madness? And there could be another 4 years of it. Do you see it? Do you see it coming out? What's happening? Starmer's useless. So they don't defend Starmer today. There's been no press releases, no kind of, oh, he did marvellous, he got this deal, he got that deal. No, nothing. It's all so quiet, as Bjork would say. Because then Peter Kyle goes on the breakfast round, and I used to think he was quite decent for a Labour minister, but he puts the boot in. And then let's talk about the online act as well, if you want. As I say, at the beginning when that came out, I was kind of in favour of it. I thought, well, that might work. We've got to protect kids from some of that filth. You know, not just pornography, but I mean violent pornography, well, violent crime that you can find on the internet. But then the more I've looked at it, and the more I've spoken to younger people, they know how to get a VPN. I mean, if I want one, I still have to get one of my kids to sort it out. So they're already past this. Labour don't see that. You can't control it. But what they're trying to do is having this act so they can say, if they don't like your political speech, they can lock you up. It's the exact same routine that happened in the riots last summer. Those people were called thugs, right-wing thugs. And as you know now, anybody who's in opposition to Labour, you're a right-wing fascist thug. Well, you're not. You're just somebody who's got a different political view or a different solution to our problems. It's just ludicrous. It's just wrong. And if you haven't heard this story about the Muslim rape gangs, it's been some of the stuff today. It's just been some of the evidence that's come out. I might do a show about it tomorrow. That the police were using these girls as well. I don't use a euphemism. They were raping and sexually abusing these girls as well. What kind of society are we living in? And of course, one of them who died mysteriously, got run over, he was a Muslim as well. It's just beyond the pale. I would rather Keir Starmer was doing that and dealing with that, dealing with the migrant hotels, maybe saying, oh, did Donald Trump have a point when he talked about this? Has he got a point about the green agenda? You know, let's stop slagging him off about him calling them windmills, but maybe he's right. Let's have a working party to look at all these things that the leader of the free world has come up with. We can discount some, but let's investigate it. Because a lot of what Donald Trump said yesterday and the day before chimed with what most people in the country think. He is more in touch with the British public from 5,000 miles, well, how many miles it is, than our leaders. Are you with me or against me? Let's keep going. Evening, John. The smear is no surprise, says Chopper MK50. To the left, there are no limits or restraint. Everything is on the table, as they always believe they're on the right side of history. It's dangerous times. Chopper, that's a very good thing, because they always say that, don't you? Oh, Gaunt, you on the wrong side of history. What the fuck do they know? How do they know that? History, by its very nature, has to be looking back, doesn't it? But honestly, it's beyond me the way this country's gone. How hasn't Trump seen what Starmer has done to our country, says Private Oze, 8B32. Well, I'll tell you how. He has. Yesterday, that was all a game. It was all a game. When he said, what, you're censoring my Truth Social? No, my good friend wouldn't do that. It's all flattery. I said about this yesterday. It's the art of the deal. He never says no to your face. He's brilliant at this. He flatters you. And then when he said about Khan, and by the way, if you want to talk about Khan as well, has Khan been the worst thing that's ever happened to London since the fire? Answer yes, in my opinion. We've got free speech on there. You can say what you want. But I think when he said about Khan, he's a nasty man. And then Starmer laughed. And he thought he'd get the room. The journalist laughed with him and put his hand like that. And, he's a friend of mine. No one else laughed. It went down like a fart in a spacesuit. And then he just seemed to shrink into himself. He looked smaller and smaller. This was a meeting with the President of the United States, but in Britain. He should have been leading the meeting. He promises everything, but that bloke couldn't deliver a bloody pizza. Not that he'd have to, because he's letting in enough illegal migrants for them to deliver it and earn £1,000 a week in the black economy. That's who's running our country. He doesn't have to worry about it. I just find it incredible, ladies and gentlemen. Just incredible. And that's the game Trump was up to yesterday. Because a lot of those messages, surely they must have hit home. But Starmer hasn't reacted today. Because I think he thinks, if I tell everyone I'm going to get tough with Palestine, everyone will think I'm a humanitarian and I'm wonderful. He's using the death of those kids to further his aims. I'd go that far. That's what I think he is doing. It's disgusting. Where is next? Gaunt, if you can afford the wage cut, perhaps you should become the PM, says Phil in Bilton. I tell you what, I regret ever saying that because I could do with the job at the moment. I could do with some money. Phil, instead of being sarky, how about whacking a fiver in and buying me a coffee or do me little rewards here now? Trump has missed. Trump has missed nothing. Oh, sorry. He has missed nothing. Don't worry. You don't want to worry. Yeah. So in other words, he's sussed it all. Yes, exactly what I was just saying myself then. So great minds, thinking alike. Thank you very much indeed, Suzanne. Maggie Young, she's a regular. She's on Facebook today. Did you my comment? It must be. Did you see my comment on your website regarding a 12-year-old girl being raped in Nuneaton? I did. Man charged. So we've got to be careful. Can't really talk about it. It's so upsetting that our children can't walk our streets. Help. Save our children. My two little nephews were around today, and you know what nanas are like. She gave them some money to go around the sweet shop. And I think it was probably the first time they've been out round here on their own. And I think everybody in the room, me, Nana, and my sister-in-law, there was just that little panic. Shall we? Shan't we? But that's one of the pleasures of being a kid, isn't it? Running to the shops, even if it was to get things for your mum or your dad. Fags. My dad, go and get number 10. He'd give you a note. You'd take it in, and that somehow surpassed the law that you were too young to buy them. Anyway, happy days. But Maggie, I know what you mean. I really do understand it. The Dark Angel just says, hi, John. Hi, Dark Angel. Parliament should be recalled to discuss all this. Well, yes, Dark Angel, that's exactly what I'm saying. But he's had them back today to talk about Gaza. And please don't interpret what I'm saying as if I don't care about starving kids. I do. I also care about the Jewish teenagers who went to a rock festival just like Glastonbury, got raped, mutilated, had their breasts cut off, and then some of them are still held hostage. I worry about that as well. And I worry about the fact Hamas has not had an election in 14 years. And I worry about the fact that all these people go, oh, I'm a queer for Palestine. That's what they say, queers for gay pride in Palestine. No, the only pride you'd have is whether you can do a backflip as they chuck you off the tower block, you plonkers. But we've got to get a solution to Israel and Palestine. But that solution can't come from Starmer. Starmer, who didn't even have the spine to stand up to the president yesterday. He's now telling us he's going to go to war with them. John Healey, the defense secretary, he wants to go to war with China. Meanwhile, Zelensky wants us to go to war with Russia. What did Trump say yesterday? End wars, get out of wars. One of the first things he said this morning was, oh yeah, we finished off or ended another war yesterday. He's proud of that. That's what we need. We need that kind of leadership. And anyway, we're at war here. We've got no borders. Anyone can get in. I'm not making any of this up, am I? But they don't care. Because I actually get into the view where you think, do they want it to kick off? By the way, I'm not talking about Tommy Robinson because we don't know any of the facts, and that's the reason, right? None of the facts. I've seen the video, but I didn't see the bit before. We're also not talking about the Manchester airport people because, again, the jury haven't come back with a decision. I was hoping that might happen today, and it makes me wonder why it hasn't. But we'll talk about it maybe tomorrow. Starmer the Harmer is totally out of his depth. It was funny to watch him with Trump. Trump made him look totally inadequate, says Ronnie Hurst. Ronnie, you're absolutely right. Jackie Ward, I think Starmer's trying to wreck the country completely, so it's impossible for Farage to fix. This situation is completely untenable. That's a very good comment indeed. Thank you for it. Just on that token, I just want to say to you, people have been saying, who else are you getting up as your special guest? I had a chat with Ben Habib today. He's the one who fell out with Farage, but long list. He's doing an interview with me on Thursday morning, which I'll either put up Thursday afternoon or maybe Friday, because there'll be a live show Thursday. So I'll probably put it up Friday. I'll see. If he says things that have got to be up there straight away, I'll put it up. But I'll tell you something. I've been amazed when I've asked people, would you like to come on? Oh, I'm back. I'm doing podcasts. Everybody's saying yes. And they're saying, it's lovely to have you back. Oh, and I hadn't realised you'd been so ill. I wondered where you'd got to. Nice. It's really nice. And if you've not listened yet to my two that I've already got in the bag, the one with the ex-cop, oh, man alive, or indeed the one with the man from Fair Fuel, Howard Cox, where he basically says, deport the lot of them. I mean, it's real hardline stuff that he's coming out with. Considered, but hardline. So if you haven't listened to that yet, please do. Please do. They're up now. And then, of course, we also spoke, didn't we, to Kevin, the ex-Conservative, junior minister, 9 years in the government. He had some fascinating things to say as well, Kevin Foster. So there's been some great guests already, but we've got Ben now. On Thursday, I'm doing it, so I'll let you know when it's in the bag. Let's go on. In the 80s, they had the Video Nasties Act to ban certain films from people and kids seeing them. Yes, it's all censorship. That's effectively what it is. They want to tell you what you can do. This act, this Child Act, is scary as hell, because if you're an adult, like I don't go on the porn site. I'm not saying I've never done it. I don't want to do that, right? But I should have a right to look at porn if I want, as long as it's legal. I'm not talking about bestiality or anything. But now, if you want to do it, evidently, you've got to put your name, I don't know if you address, but you've certainly got to put your name and your email address in now, haven't you? That's an infringement of your civil liberties. That's prying into your personal life, because you're not breaking the law. What do you think? Craig says, John, please be careful. We don't want you to get the Lucy Connolly treatment. I could see that happening, actually. Starmer is like Mr. Blobby, bumbling through everything in his path, going, lobby, blobby, lobby, blobby. I like that, Ronnie. Thank you very much indeed. Graham Hatton, we've got 4 years left under this draconian government. In the first 12 months, they've created nothing but carnage. I'm not sure we can afford another 4 years, John. What will history make of our generation if we stare at the floor, twiddle our thumbs, and just hope for the best? Dark Angel says, I agree, John. Oh, dear me. You are all getting very, very radical. I don't know what we can do. I think his government will collapse. I can't see how it can continue. People hate him. Absolutely hate him. And he keeps making misjudgments. I'm sure today, or maybe yesterday, he thought he did well. I don't know. I mean, I was laughing at the time. Other political commentators didn't say anything. They were obviously waiting to see how the wind blew. But nobody has backed him. No one said he did well yesterday. He didn't. And then he's come out with this Billy Big Boots nonsense today, threatening Israel. Well, Israel are one of our allies. It's just wrong. And he's only done it when the big boys left the playground, when Donald Trump's on his plane, not even when he's landed. And he was just humiliated. And like I said yesterday, it's not just about him being humiliated, it's our great country. Adam Willoughby, hi, John. It was shameful when the radio station you used to work for, it was shameful when the radio station you used to work for, all you do is talk the truth. what everyone else thinks. Oh, thank you. You mean when they sacked me? You can use the word. I've got over it. Yeah, they sacked me. Yeah, they did sack me. And you're right. I should still be on it. And maybe one day I will be, because surely one day they'll wake up and realise they need the ratings. Dark Angel, I like Ben Habib. Well, Dark Angel, I've got something to tell you. I'm not sure about him, because I think he's going to split that right vote. And then there's a worry then that Labour might get back in. And I'll say this to his face when I interview him, but he has got some interesting ideas. I did a bit of GB News with him before I got ill. And he is interesting, the things that comes out with. And he's very articulate and he's very intelligent. Rupert Lowe, the same. But I just think at the moment, isn't it better if everyone gets behind Farage? Well, that's the discussion we'll have with Ben Habib when I get him on my show in the next day or two. Thursday, I'm going to interview. I met Ben Habib. He was the person I saw as a future Reform UK Prime Minister. Such a shame they fell out. Well, I heard bits of why they fell out from the man from his name's I keep forgetting his name. I do apologise. Who I interviewed the other day. So I'm sure I'm going to get more information when I speak to Ben Habib direct. As I say, I'm going to do that on Thursday. Howard, that's who I'm talking about. So make sure you stay tuned for that. I told you I'd start getting good guests, and that's what I'm doing. So if you want, Dark Angel says, I'm going to vote Reform anyway. Well done. And Craig says, you're right. Thank you very much indeed, Craig. Right, that's it then. We're more or less finished. I'll just have to go now and eat the cat. We haven't got a cat. But I'll have to go and do something like that because we've had no donations today. Thank you so much. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, big issue. Also, we are going to keep doing guests. We are going to, you know where we're trying to head with this podcast, these live shows. We want to get to a stage where we can have proper interaction via the phones. I'm just taking it slowly. I just want it to be right. I mean, this week, we're going to do 4 live shows, and I think there'll be 3 recorded ones with guests. That's 7 shows you're getting. You're telling me that's not worth a fiver of your money? Come on. John, ask him to put things right with Farage and unite. Reform, they're stronger together. But I agree with that, and I will say that in no uncertain terms when I speak to him, but I don't think I'll convince him. But we'll see. We'll see. If you haven't listened to the Howard Cox interview, please do it. The Kevin Early one, the top copper who has run the Notting Hill Carnival, worked for the UN in Africa and some of the war-torn states, putting policing procedures in place. It's a fascinating interview. You'll find that on my John Gaunt TV channel on YouTube. And we got a load of people yesterday subscribing. If you want to keep up to date with what I'm doing, the best way to do it is to go to YouTube, look for John Gaunt TV, all one word, but it comes up anyway, and then click the subscribe button. We can do it now while you're watching. Costs no money. No money. You're never going to get charged. But then you're like a member, and because you're a member, you get notified every time I do a video or a podcast. And I've got to say that to you as well. The podcast for yesterday's show, the numbers are through the roof, the audio version. So I thought, well, everyone's moved over to watching it on their phones. It's not true. A lot of people still like listening to it when they're walking the dog, which is fine by me. Fine by me. Jackie Ward, there she is, giving me my 3 red hearts. Thank you, Jackie. All right, I'm off. I'll be back tomorrow, 6:30. That's only Wednesday, isn't it, John? Doing that. Thursday, I'm going to do Ben Habib, but I'm also going to do a show in the evening as well. Thank you for helping me to make this so successful. I couldn't have done it without you. Not just your financial support, but your support of joining in and some of the, I had 2 emails I wanted to read out tonight. I've forgotten about them. I'll try and do it tomorrow. Niven Casey and was it Carl? Somebody anyway sent me emails and they said some really nice things about what I'm doing. So thank you. I really do appreciate that. Wojtek's like that. He sends me the occasional email, giving me a pep note, sort of pepping me up, saying, well done. No, don't worry. Don't get down. Do this, do that. So it's all great. I really appreciate it. And I read every single email I get. So thanks for being part of our success. Right. Only the one thing to say. If you've got kids, give them a kiss, give them a hug, Hey, don't forget to tell them you love them, and I'll see you tomorrow at 6:30. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. See ya.